We finished last week with verse 22. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, a people cometh from the north country, and a great nation shall be raised from the sides of the earth. Okay, we finished up with that one. It's describing, again, what's going to happen with the Jewish nation, and who's going to come and do it. And we do know that that this great nation will be the Babylonian Empire, Nebuchadnezzar and his crew. And verse 23, they're coming down from the north country, great nation raised from the sides of the earth. Remember, we mentioned last week that the Babylonian Empire, assimilated pretty much all of the other nations that they conquered, and took them in, and you either served Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonian army, or you died. Okay? But again, this is a description of what's going to happen to Jerusalem. And verse 23, continuing, this great nation, they shall lay hold on bow and spear. Okay? Bow and spear, these spears would be like the javelins, throwing or however they used spears in battle. And they are cruel and have no mercy. Okay? Their voice roareth like the sea, and they ride upon horses. This is describing the army. Okay? And remember, there, while we see all the movies, let's see, Braveheart, when they get ready to go, when they start attacking each other and in battle, and they somebody sounds the charge, and then all of the troops roar and start running down the that's kind of this idea of their voice roareth like the sea. They ride upon horses, and of course they have their version of armored units would be their chariots. Okay? Those were their tanks, and of course the cavalry are the horses, and blowing the bugle. Remember the bugle call, and how the bugler in all of the westerns, he could sound his bugle while moving on a horse. But a lot of we know a lot of the other invading armies, stuff like Genghis Khan and his crowd. Okay, yeah, they were trained, to ride. They were trained to shoot a bow and arrow from the side of a horse, from riding at full gallop on a horse, and hitting their target. And they were trained like that. And of course, we know David, when he went up against Goliath, okay, he was not an amateur with the sling and slingshot. He was not. That took practice, and to get those and to hit your target. So that's kind of the idea here. They ride upon horses, set in array as men for war against thee, O daughter of Zion. Okay? He's making it specific now. They're coming after you, Jerusalem, O daughter of Zion. They're coming after the Jewish people, set in array, roaring, riding upon horses, riding upon their chariots. Okay? And verse 24, we have heard the fame thereof. Okay? They've been, Nebuchadnezzar and his crew, remember, they first conquered Assyria, and the Assyrians came down and conquered the northern 10 tribes of Israel, and the Babylonians conquered the Assyrians, and they're expanding their empire. We have heard the fame thereof. Our hands wax feeble. You know, you hear about this, and again, you know, Jeremiah is telling them about it. Isaiah told them about it. You know, Ezekiel told them about them. Okay, and they're hearing it from Jeremiah now, and you know they're who wouldn't be afraid? You know, we went through the Cold War, you know, pretty much in fear of the Russians. Well, the Soviet Union then, but we went through the Cold War, and actually we managed to beat them. Our guided missile submarines were a whole lot better than their guided missile submarines. Huh? Yeah. Well, from after World War II until 1989 or 1990, 98. Yeah, but yeah, you know, and I saw a thing in the submarine magazine that an article about the Russian submarines are. A lot of them are sitting in you know, tied up next to docks, rusting. The Russian, you know, nuclear submarines that they had, they're yeah, and all of the, because they can't afford to run them or fix them up. But anyway, so you know, we lived in fear during the Cold War. Our hands wax feeble in fear of war. Anguish hath taken hold of us, and pain. Okay? It's getting, and it's pain as of a woman in travail, as a you know, lady giving birth, and that, you know, that's you know, they keep telling us how painful that is, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So you know, trembling in fear is what this kind of leads to. And then verse 26, O daughter of my people, okay, again, daughter of Zion, gird thee with sackcloth. And this is mourning. You know, when someone dies, this would be a sign of mourning. Sackcloth, think of the gunny sacks, you know that they used to put potatoes in, stuff like that. You know, I mean, itchy, scratchy, whatever material, and you know, so you know, you're going into mourning. Get ready for mourning. Gird thee with sackcloth. Wallow thyself in ashes. You know, they would put ashes on their head, and to show, it's an outward show of mourning. You know, so that, oh, you know, if somebody dies, you know, everybody's going to know about it because you're in sackcloth with ashes. Okay? But here he says, wallow thyself, roll in the ashes, like, you know, like a pig in a mud trough. Roll thyself in ashes, wallow in ashes. Make thee mourning, not you know, early in the day mourning, but mourning as in, you know, yeah, sorrow. As for an only son, an only son. Who can we think of maybe mourning an only son in the future? God and his only son. Okay. You, you think God knew about it, God planned it, okay, for our Savior Jesus. Do you suppose God mourned in heaven for his son? Think so? Yeah. Anyway, but, this is like, a family losing their only son, most bitter lamentation, most bitter crying, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us, and this is this nation from the north. This is Nebuchadnezzar, okay, and his army coming to besiege Jerusalem and destroy it. Okay? So and coming suddenly, but it's not going to be all of that suddenly, because what says we have heard the fame thereof back up there. Okay, they know about it. Josiah the king at the time of Jeremiah, he knows about it. He has his spies. They knew about it. We knew during the Cold War. We knew a lot about what the Soviet Union was doing. And when that book that your Tom gave me there, God and Spies, about the divers on the submarine Halibut, who went down and actually tapped into their underwater cables, phone cables, the Soviet Union's underwater phone cables. That's a secret, by the way. Not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah. But that's a good book. I like that one.
Okay, how long ago was this?
This was in 60s, 70s, whenever, yeah, 70s, 80s. Huh? Yeah. But anyway, they tapped into this was a deep dive that these divers had to specially train for, and they tapped into those cables, and they were able to hear all of the communication from the Soviet Union's leaders to their troops in the field. Yeah, it was about as as good a deal as when in World War II when they found the Germans' code machines. Yeah, this was the same kind of deal. Yeah, the Enigma machines. But again, okay, the spoilers shall suddenly come, but it's not going to be, there's going to be warning, but it's, there, and Jeremiah is warning them. He's coming. He's on his way. And verse 27, I think verse 27, maybe God is speaking to Jeremiah himself. I'm thinking, I have set thee, Jeremiah, for a tower and a fortress among my people. Okay, so because he's warning his people, a tower and a fortress, a watchman. I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people. I may be wrong about thinking that this is addressed to Jeremiah himself, this one verse, that thou mayest know and try their way. Okay? So you will know, and then try their way. This kind of refers to what a metallurgist does. Okay, a person who refines gold. Okay, melts down the gold or silver or whatever precious metal, and they try it. Okay, try their way. They are all, so this kind of refers that way. They are all grievous. Now he's talking, the people you're talking to, Jeremiah, they are all grievous revolters, walking with slanders. They, uh-oh. So, okay.
Whip them, Joel.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to whip them.
Someone's dying back there. Okay. Grievous revolters, walking with slanders. You know, right now, at this time in the nation of Israel, his chosen people, God is not really happy with his chosen people because they have forsaken him. They're revolting against him, and you know, telling lies. That, you know, false prophets are out there telling lies about God to the people. That's kind of the idea. And now here we come. They're going to try. They are brass and iron. Okay, they are all corrupters. You know, brass and iron. They need to be refined. Need to be heated up to make them usable. Okay, but they're the idea here is the brass and the iron are actually corrupting or making, if you will, the silver and the gold worth less. You know? Because, you know, they have to, you know, when they, again, they heat up the gold or silver or whatever metal they need to purify, and even brass to make it a good sturdy enough metal for, you know, the brass shields and stuff like that, or for mirrors or whatever. It needs to be refined, heated and refined, and get the impurities off of it, so that they hold up better. They are all corrupters, and the bellows are burned. Okay, the bellows, you know, they have to pump the bellows to get air onto the fire. Okay, and the bellows are working so hard and pumping so hard that the bellows are actually getting, you know, hot, are burning up in this process. Okay, the bellows are burned and corrupted, and the lead is consumed of the fire. Okay, the founder melteth in vain. Now, he's kind of talking about Jeremiah here. The founder, he's the Jeremiah would be the blacksmith who is trying to do this. Okay, and he's trying to purify the metal, and like I said, the bellows worn out by continual blowing. Okay, you know, the smelter is God's prophet. Okay, the bellows would be the breath of inspiration. Okay, and the, you know, you have to use when you're soldering something, you have to use flux to clean off the, you know, the soldering thing. The flux is his earnestness in preaching. Okay, he's talking about Jeremiah here. You know, he is, if you will, Jeremiah, being, you know, the founder and the smelter, he is getting burned out by his preaching. You know, when we had our King's Posse, at the very end of our King's Posse, when there were only 3 of us and 15 or 20 kids, we kind of got burned out. You know, the kids did us in. We did reach a lot of kids, but, you know, when you're driving a 15-passenger bus and you're the only one there, and you can't get the kids to fasten a seatbelt, you know, and you get tired of yelling at the kids, okay? Jeremiah is getting worn out at yelling at the kids. If you want to follow that kind of idea, the founder melteth in vain, for the wicked are not plucked away. Okay, they're not plucked away from their wicked doing to turn back to God. They are you know, they're sticking with their sin. They're not ashamed of their sin. They're sticking with their sin. They don't care. False prophets are telling them that they're okay, that they're going to be safe, and you know, but they are on the wrong side of God, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of God. Wicked are not plucked away. Jeremiah is getting burned out. Okay, reprobate silver, men shall call them. Reprobate silver would be silver with impurities mixed into it. You can't use it. You know, they use a lot of silver for, you name it, they use silver for it. You know, electronics, they use a lot of electronics or gold in electronics. Okay, and if it's impure silver, reprobate silver, you know, that's what they're called. The daughter of Zion, men shall call them reprobate silver, because the Lord hath rejected them. Okay, God, He's not happy, and with His children now, and you know, and He's going to, He's going to refine them, and eventually, and he's working today to get us refined to where we can be usable, okay? Like good pure silver or good pure gold, with all of the, you know, the hay and straw burned away, and anyway, so hey. We finished 4 minutes early today, and we finished the chapter. Yay! Oh.